Welcome, everybody, to Den Excelsior, the mostly Marvel show. This is episode 199.
It is.
I'm your host, Ricky. That right there is Dennis.
Yep.
199 times doing this.
What do we get for 200?
Do
we get sponsors?
I don't think we get anything.
You just reminded me of something really cool that happened yesterday. I was just on Apple, and I found out that was not the finale of Platonic, and it actually was still running right now. And the season finale actually came out in the last week.
That's
and
a nice little gift.
It was a nice gift because it was a way more satisfying ending. But also the reason I remembered it is because there's a character in the show that has a podcast. And she likes to make hilarious, she changes her voice for her podcast. But she just started in the middle of the podcast saying, "This episode is sponsored by ZipRecruiter." And then her guest is like, "You got ZipRecruiter as sponsor?" She's like, "No, I just think it sounds good." So we should start.
I have not reached the point where my new coworkers know about this podcast.
Okay.
I don't know if I want them. I feel like that's it's become a charged thing nowadays.
It's a charge thing only because everybody has a podcast. But I think, you know what I say to that? I call back, and it's a callback to a famous Ricky line. Don't yuck my yum.
That's fair. I guess, are we part of the manosphere?
I'm not sure what the manosphere is.
It's men with podcasts.
Enlighten me.
Angry men who get angry on podcasts.
Do we get angry on this podcast? I think that's for the viewers to decide. I think I used to get angrier at you than I do nowadays, but I don't see that. I don't see it as that. I see it as this is a cool way to hang out on a whatever day it may be and talk about the things that would normally annoy the hell out of our significant others if we talked endlessly about them.
You talk to your significant other?
Just the minimum, the bare minimum, what's needed to get
the
by.
Contractual marriage.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I don't have to talk her ear off about the latest superhero shit. I mean, as it is, she can't get away from me talking about the toys I get all the time. So I at least try to spare her from.
I mean, she has an active role of bringing them into your household.
Not as much, but yeah, sometimes. True, she does. She did. It was my anniversary this weekend, and she got me a cute gift to celebrate. Even though she's not seen the movie, she decided it would be cool to get me a married couple. So she got me Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic, from the movie. So, yeah, cute. Like I said, I'm not going out of my way to buy the MCU figures anymore, but when I do get them, they're pretty cool looking.
Not even like a Doom? MCU Doom?
What?
Not even like an MCU Doom?
I mean, I'll put them on my list. But no, it's cool. It was a cute little gift to get. I will say that the figure for Vanessa Kirby is spot on accurate. But the head is trash because it cannot turn because of her hair. Her hair comes down both sides of her shoulders. So she has absolutely zero posability.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Sue typically doesn't have a ponytail in comics. But she does have shorter hair usually.
She can. She most of my Sues have long hair, but it's it's a toy decision, like how you want to sculpt the hair, if you want it to be in a static position or if you want it to be in an action position. And I think 9 times out of 10 they always choose the most static look for any
you gotta take a good photo to sell it.
Live action actor, you know what I mean? So it's whatever.
My toys, speaking of toys, my Magic the Gathering toys are set to ship.
What'd you order them through?
Big Bad.
Yeah, I ordered them through Hasbro, so it's going to be a little while.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see them. I did also get some Marvel Spider-Man cards. They're Marvel Spider-Man Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, I actually got some more this weekend too, because my good friend was working the Magic Con event this past weekend. And so he brought me home many things. He brought me home the one pack that you were never able to get me.
Now you can get me that pack.
Well, I only have the one. I just he got me the Gwen pack. He got me some foil con exclusive collector cards. He got me collector's booster packs.
You need to get that card graded now.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I got several of them actually.
I'll take one off you.
And then he got me a play mat. It's not a Spider-Man play mat.
Mm-hmm.
Magic the Gathering play mat. And then the coolest thing he got me is the premium sleeves, the collector sleeves.
Yeah.
So I have Spider-Man sleeves and Venom sleeves.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those
Did
are
you upper
cool.
deck the sleeves still? They are branded.
They're branded. I don't remember who did them, but I think it is upper deck.
Yeah, get the promo cards graded now, and then the collector packs.
Why? I'm just curious why.
You're not gonna play with it.
I might.
Okay.
My thing is, like, I just got done doing, like, this past week, finally got word back from PSA.
Yeah, it takes a while.
About that card we dropped off at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And not only was it annoying, like it completely ignored all the instructions I gave it like months ago when I set up the whole thing. I set it up to say, once it's done grading, put this on eBay. And then I got a notification in the email a few days ago saying, hey, your thing is ready to go to the vault. You have 20 hours to change your decision. And I was like, what are you talking about? I told you to put it on eBay. So I had to go and I had to set up the eBay listing for it. And I'm like,
yeah. Because you have to, did you set up your payment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you didn't have it set up, it's going to undefault from the thing. That's a user error, sir.
Oh, it's a user error. Gotcha. So now it's set up on there, and I don't even know. And then I told it to start it on Monday, and then I just got a message on Monday telling me that it's going to go up at the next available time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I don't even know when this thing's going to sell. So I don't know. I don't think I like PSA as much as you.
I don't think I
trust me. This or grading as much.
I don't know if I like them.
I don't think I like the grading process as much as you. This episode is sponsored by PSA.
I think specifically for those cards, it's worth grading. Some of the stuff in the collectors stuff, they are cool cards, but when you're playing with stuff like the specifically the collector's cards, there's a decent amount of like high value stuff, like at least 1,000. It's like, okay, might as well get it graded.
Now, I'll consider it.
I mean, now we're on this topic. I finally organized my comics. I used the CLZ app.
I have the CLZ app. That's great.
I did the CLZ app.
I don't have a subscription to it right now, because now it's a yearly subscription.
Yeah.
It used to, back in the day, it used to be a one-time purchase, lifetime. And I was pretty shocked to learn that I could no longer use it a few months ago when I tried.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The only thing that annoyed me, I guess that makes sense, because there's 2 subscriptions. You have to buy a subscription for the app,
yes,
and a subscription for the website, which I really don't use the website, but the app's kind of crazy. You just scan a picture and it just does it.
I know, because I did it all a long time ago, and now I don't have access to that stuff because they were going to give me a I did write them and let them know, and they gave me like a discount code to use it for like whatever, like the year or whatever because my plan was just use it for like whatever active time and then start getting rid of those. But it is a great app, and yes, you can just take a picture of the thing and it's good to go. Like or scan the barcode if you have the barcode too, right? I think.
No, we can just do the cover though.
Okay.
Like it's
that might be better. That might be better than it was back in the day.
I think the cover stuff's like relatively new within the past.
Yeah, I don't remember it being the cover. Yeah,
but I got all my comics graded. I got them in the app, specified where they were in my place, You could put up the grades, so they all have their grades and stuff. And it was cool to organize the stuff, but I finally like made my wish list of all the hip hop comics that I need to get. And I thought there was like 150 of them. There's like 250 of them.
I like the use of the word need. That's true nerd problems right there.
But now I can be better organized on stuff I need to get graded and stuff I need to send in. I got some pretty cool stuff sitting here.
Yeah, I'm just curious. While you were doing that, were you like watching TV the whole time, or were you doing something?
Would you be surprised to say that I only have one TV in this place? We only have a living room TV.
Okay, I mean you have laptops and computers too. You can watch.
I like to sit in silence if I'm busy.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe throw on a podcast, but I think for the most part I did in silence, like a psychopath.
Okay.
So shout out CLZ app if you want to sponsor us, we'll gladly take that sponsorship.
I would happily, even though I got screwed out of a lifetime membership.
They do movies and books now too, so there you go.
Yeah, they do. It is a great app. It is awesome for organizing all those things. Yeah, Lindsay got it for me to organize my collection probably 13 or 14 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, it does the pricing too. That was another neat part.
It does.
You can turn off and on the pricing.
Yeah, you can see what the current, like it compares it to Overstreet Price Guide, right? I think is what it is.
I think so.
There's a way to do it to database. See what the current value is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's nice to have a number on my collection now too.
To
know that I'm not just wasting.
That's kind of what I wanted to do, to know like the whole reason I wanted to activate it is because I kind of so this is going to be depressing for most people my age, but it turns out that time in the 90s where everybody was super excited about all the coolest artists like Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and Eric Larson and all these guys. Well, the trick is like, the Image boom and the X-Men comics and stuff. The trick is everybody bought those comics, and those comics are worth nothing now today. So if you collected comics during the boom,
comics, baseball cards, Marvel cards.
Yeah, there's a lot of collecting going on in the early 90s, mostly because there was a lot of news stories happening of parents who found their old collection of comics from like the 50s and 60s and found out they're worth thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what that inspired was a giant boom in collecting, because everybody thought they could do the same thing, like buy comics now, have fun reading them, and then 30 years from now go flip them. And I tried to flip some of them and it was rough. So what I've decided to do is just like next time I have time, reactivate the app, go through, find the ones that are of value, pick those out, and then the rest of them, I'm probably going to chop them up and make art out of them. The ones that are worth 50 cents or, 25 cents, whatever, because you can't even sell those at a comic store.
Yeah, they're not.
More than, yeah,
they take up a lot of space.
Yeah,
no, it's good because like there's often a lot of it's just I feel very at peace knowing the value.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Yeah,
but also like when it helps when I'm like there's like a vector, right, of buying raw comics in lots. People are selling the hip hop one specifically in lots, or buying a graded one. My goal is just to have graded copies of everyone.
Gotcha.
So in some instances, if it's below a certain price, it's worth to buy, then grade. In other instances, it's just worth to buy the cheapest graded one. But now it's nice to like have a ballpark of like where I need to be at in terms of some of these covers.
That's cool. By the way, for anybody who's been listening to this random conversation for the 15 minutes, We promise we will be talking about Peacemaker episode 7 at some point later.
Is that a direct comment to something from last week?
No. It wasn't. It's not a comment on anything. I just realized, like, normally we start the episode by letting people know what we're going to talk about.
The title. It's up ahead.
That's fair. It's fair. We'll get there eventually.
We've done this 199 times.
It's true.
We were even longer back then.
We were longer back then. Yeah. I assume you've just told me what you've been nerding out on this week.
The only other thing I did that's of note is I went back to medieval times and had the greatest experience again.
Nice.
Not only did we win, or our knight won,
mm-hmm.
My sister caught a rose from the knight. The other person I was with,
Does that mean he gets to use prima nocta?
Yes.
Oh wow.
My dad was there, so he approved.
Your dad doesn't get to do prima nocta too, right?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how it works back then.
I don't think you know what prima nocta is.
It's a sex slave, right? No,
it's not a slave. No. It's from Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
It's this gross term that, like, the bad guys use when they find out, like, William Wallace is trying to, like, marry in secret because all the bad knights and stuff that they don't want to hang out with, their fun thing they like to do is troll weddings and exercise the right of prima nocta, which is they get to sleep with the wife on the wedding day. It's pretty gross. And so the knights find out
they get to sleep with the wife.
That's their right, apparently. And so the whole point of the movie is they find out.
Is that what Braveheart's about? I've never seen Braveheart.
Kinda. It starts with that. It ends up, like, going horribly, because they find out he ends up murdering them, even though you're not supposed to murder the knights. Then it turns into a revolution.
When did
it is a revolution? 90s. Yeah, like maybe 90.
Okay, 95.
95. Yeah. But prima nocta is the hilariously gross thing that gets referenced often in pop culture because of that. I'm gonna switch subjects on that one.
Yeah, how'd your art thing go?
Oh, the Ninja Exchange thing did not go well, but only because it wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't right next to Ninja Exchange. It was a little further away, and so the traffic there wasn't direct one-to-one. They leave the doors and then come over to this thing. The other thing was it was just a generic ass market with anything. You know what I mean? Like people selling the little crochet animals or people selling body piercings.
I don't like seeing people selling 3D printed shit at those markets.
Oh, they do it there too.
It makes me mad. It makes me angry when I see that.
Uh-oh, you careful. We're gonna enter the manosphere. So yeah, it wasn't great, but I did have fun, and I still got to go into Ninja Exchange a few times, and I saw all the Magic Marvel Legends toys there, price gouged to infinity.
I bet. Yep.
Yes. But it made me happy that I know that I have them coming eventually. I also saw Shumagorath and Gargantos and Juggernaut there at the stores, and I'm like, what the hell? Why don't I have Juggernaut and Gargantos? And hilariously, when I got home, there was a package, and I opened it, and it was.
I saw the Venom Cap 2-packs went down in price.
That is an excellent pack. I think that's probably one of the best packs. Just because, like, both characters are cool. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the Psylocke's the best figure of the whole line.
Still not opened her.
Yeah, that's good. Keep her clean then. That way, keep her clean. Keep her pristine.
Keep her out of the jar.
Yeah. But no, it was fun to be at Ninja Exchange and be like, I'm working at Ninja Exchange, but I barely made any sales. So I'll be more selective in what kinds of experiences. That said, I have gotten my arts entered into several gallery exhibitions in the coming weeks. I can let you know about those later, but it's pretty cool. I got some stuff showing in LA. I got some stuff showing here in San Diego. And yeah, it's a lot of
Are
cool
you going
opportunities.
to your galleries, or are you just sending stuff to them?
I will go to some of them. I'm not going to go to the LA one.
Oh,
yes, but you can go to the LA one and be like, wow, look at that. Dennis's art is right there. For those listening, he's making a really sinister looking face. Like I'm not going to do that. That is
it's like, I'm not going to go downtown.
Yeah, see, there you go. You didn't even know where it is, and you just assumed it's downtown. I don't know where it is either, actually. So, but anyways, what did I nerd out on? You ask. I started my my annual tradition of in October I try to watch at least one horror movie every day. I am up to.
Is it 8. New horror movie or just a horror movie?
A horror movie, but preferably I tried this year really hard to save a bunch of horror movies that I've never watched, like on all the different apps that I have available. So far I have watched 8 movies I have never seen before. And I will say
list them.
I mean, I can if you want me to.
All right, I guess give me your top 3.
The Dead Don't Die is hilarious and weird and super awkward, starring Bill Murray and Adam Driver. It is a zombie movie that is unlike any zombie movie I've ever seen. Also, like at least the second zombie movie with Bill Murray that I've seen, pretty weird. The Dead Don't Die was pretty cool. I saw Opus this morning with John Malkovich and Ayo Edebiri. It's like, it says it's listed as a thriller. I watched it. That's a horror movie. Okay. I get weirded out when people don't label them correctly. Like why wouldn't you? I think it's like because horror gets a bad rap or something like that, but that's a straight up horror movie. It's an excellent horror movie. Highly recommend Opus. Really, it's cool. Juliette Lewis is in it too. And Murray Bartlett from The Last of Us and White Lotus is also in that one. I'm trying to think of the other ones that were. Oh, I watched Terrifier 3.
I had never seen a Terrifier.
Ooh, boy.
I don't like people who like Terrifier.
Well, I guess that's the end of this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It gives me weird vibes. Am I like? I think in the same scope that I like Rick and Morty. I don't like Rick and Morty fans. I think that's where Terrifier lives for me. Like I've just seen so much of Terrifier without seeing these movies that I just don't care to learn about it anymore.
Can I attempt to argue my case before you completely shut me out of your life?
Sure.
When I was a kid, I watched a movie called Summer School. It's with Mark Harmon, and I think I'm trying to remember the girl. It's some girl, a girl from Melrose Place. You wouldn't know. Anyways, Kirstie Alley's in it too, I think. And it's about a teacher, he's a gym teacher who gets stuck with teaching, summer school at like the community college. And he doesn't want to, but somebody's got to do it, whatever. And it's a ragtag group of misfit students that are all like making up, a class that they failed or whatever. I can't even remember what he's teaching. It's like civics or, government or history, whatever it is. And among those people, it's like all the weirdest group of, people that would ever go to community college are all hanging out together and becoming friends and bonding. And there's these 2 guys that are obsessed with horror movies, right? But like in the, it's a coming of age movie, and the point of the teacher is like he starts out not liking what he's doing, and slowly but surely he's going to end up imparting wisdom on all these students, right? And helping them, figure out what they want to do with their lives. And so he kind of ends up these 2 guys that are in love with horror. It's not just that they're in love with horror, they're in love with the artistry of creating the gore, right? The practical effects and stuff like that. So as a gag, like he lets them do like a giant horror thing in the classroom, and I think like the principal or the dean walks in at the time and he's like freaked out and stuff, but like it's all practical effects. And I think ever since that moment in my life, I've always been really, really appreciative of the artistry of what it takes to make gore, and sometimes how simple it can be, right? Like you can just go get some corn syrup, like some random like what should I call it, like silly string, whatever, spaghetti, like whatever you want. You can make blood and guts look real enough. You know what I mean? And I think ever since that time, I've always had a great appreciation for any movie that chooses to do practical effects in their gore over CG. You know what I mean? And so that's what I appreciate about the Terrifier movies, is they go hard with practical, I don't love the plot. I don't even know what the plot is of those movies. I don't watch them religiously. I just watch each one of them once. But I do love them for the space they occupy, which is keeping this art alive that a lot of people aren't doing, And so I think it's kind of funny that the name of the main character is also Art the Clown, because I think it is an art. And so there's my argument. What do you say? What do you say to that?
I think gore is cool. I appreciate practical effects, and gore lives on that side of the Venn diagram. So sure. But
do I look like the people you're talking about when you say the people that like Terrifier?
I'm not going to profile someone like.
Oh, I felt like you already were profiling, so I was just
based on their appearance.
Okay.
I will say gore for gore's sake is not something that I gravitate towards.
Fair enough.
And the bits I've seen, I think Terrifier skews to the gratuitous side of things.
Oh, it definitely is intentionally going for the gratuitous side of things. But it's because there's no other movies that are really doing it like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, it's trying to keep something alive that used to be more common back in the day.
Where do you lean, like, on Hostel?
Again, like I like I like practical effects, and there's a lot of practical effects in Hostel.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's hard for me to say I dislike a horror movie. Like it's hard. Okay. If they're really 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 badly acted, written, and bad special effects, it has to be all three are bad, then I will, I'll throw it away.
I would give you, I don't know what it's on, but you should watch the Goosebumps show this Halloween.
I have watched the Goosebumps show.
Oh, both seasons?
No, I never made it to the end of the first season because I was kind of, that's a lot of not practical effects.
That's a lot of not practical effects.
Yeah. I kind of just tune out when it's not practical. I don't know. I'm not saying I won't watch a movie if it's got non-practical effects, CG and stuff like that. It's just it just bums me out a little bit because I know it's just an art form I appreciate. So
all right. Let's move to some news.
We're gonna have to get in. We're gonna apply for the Manosphere.
Comic-Con returning registration happens this weekend. We will be going next year to Comic-Con. Hooray. Thank you.
Yes, we will.
For those in the loop, open registration is next month, about a month away on November 15th. I mean, I always say it's a big year, but there's an Avengers movie next year. Mm-hmm. That's usually good things for a hall with a letter on it.
That means That means it's going to be good things for me when I'm not in that hall.
You need the big stuff like that. I mean, as much as like it draws a crowd. That place got busy on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm not gonna ever like hate on any whatever people like at Comic-Con. That's your thing. That I think that's the whole point of Comic-Con.
It's like the apex predator is Hall H, and without it,
the
population control gets weird.
The ecosystem falls apart without it. Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
it does. So it's just not my thing anymore, and we can everybody gets to enjoy Comic-Con the way they want. So I do appreciate when Hall H has all the big stuff, because that means that the floors are a little cleaner, like cleared out, like there's about 6,000 less people walking around amongst me. So hopefully they bring something cool for everybody to talk about. Yeah.
Moving on. There's a new Batman show coming to Prime towards the end of the year. Bat Fam is a sequel series to Merry Little Batman. So you're seeing the return of that cast in their own HBO Amazon.
Well, the last one was Amazon. The first one was Amazon.
I believe it's, hold on, I'm rereading through it. HBO show.
So what about Prime's like Batman show? Are we getting a second season of that or what?
I don't know. I like that show.
The Cape Crusader. It was a good show, and that's kind of like.
Did you ever listen to the Batman podcast show?
I did.
Like, right? Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was Jason Sudeikis, right?
He's a character in it. Yeah, I think he's like Two-Face or something like that. No, I think it's Ike Barinholtz is Two-Face. But it's got a bunch of famous people, and then what's his name? The guy who played Commissioner Gordon in the Batman. Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright. Is it right? It is right?
Yeah, WRIT.
Yeah, he plays Batman in the podcast, and he's awesome. He's really good. I think what's the girl that did all the impressions on Saturday Night Live?
Melissa Villaseñor.
Yes, she plays Robin, and she's awesome. I love Melissa Villaseñor. Thank you. Good job on the names. Good job.
My Little Bat Fam is on Prime. Sorry, not HBO.
Okay, I figured you said if it's a sequel to the other one. Well, I like the other one. It was great. Luke Wilson played Batman in that one.
I don't really like that art.
Okay. Well,
I'm an art hater.
It's not for you. Yeah.
I
thought it was fun.
Last bit of notable news this week actually comes from both Marvel and DC.
Ooh.
For the 50th anniversary, they are re-releasing the Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man versus the Amazing Superman, or Spider-Man versus the Amazing Spider-Man. It was a DC Marvel comic mashup that was 2 issues, one Spider-Man comic, one Superman comic. But that's not all. They're redoing, or I guess they're telling a new story in the same vein too. So two new comics will be coming out next year.
Because they've been doing a bunch of crossovers this year, right? Like, so it's kind of like
they just did the big, what is it, George Perez Avengers Justice League thing, right? Or
that was a re-release of something, but that was just to pay for like the fund, like the he was supporting, and I think pay for cancer and stuff, cancer research, whatever. That's Avengers JLA is from like the early 2000s or late 90s, something like that. I think it's early 2000s, but no, I think they've been doing new crossovers.
Well, they're doing the Deadpool Batman one right now, or
they did a Deadpool Batman, yeah, and they've been doing a lot of covers with different characters from that and stuff. So I heard Rob Liefeld is releasing his own free version of a Deadpool Batman that he's drawing himself, and it's a separate comic. He's growing on me. He's growing on me in my old age. I think he is kind of an interesting person. The more and more I listen, and I do think he, as much as I dislike the way he draws feet, I do think he had a huge impact on comic books back in the day, and so it's hard to ignore that.
I didn't realize, what is it? What was his line? Wildstar or
Wildstorm?
I didn't know that.
Wildcats. Wildcats. He made Wildcats.
I learned today that DC had an office in San Diego. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. That was Wildstorm.
Okay,
that was Jim Lee. That was Jim Lee's studio, or his company that he made. That eventually merged with DC, and all of his characters. Like, sorry, wait a second. Did Rob Liefeld do Youngblood? Rob Liefeld did Youngblood, and Jim Lee did the Wildcats, which were under Wildstorm Entertainment. Yes, there we go. We got that cleared up, folks. Just off the dome, just remembered. But anyways, I have not given into buying those crossovers, but maybe if they release them as a collected, I might be interested. They're fun. They're just like the George Perez one is like epic, though. If you've never read that one, it's really cool, just because he draws so many characters on double page spreads that it's just like the story is
really crams them in there.
He actually had they delayed the release of several of the later issues because he injured his wrist drawing those panels. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, R.I.P. man.
I'm reading on the same news thing. I forgot that Aztec Batman came out.
Is the comic?
No, the movie.
Oh, the animated movie.
Animated movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Prime the other day. I'm waiting for it to be on Max as usual. I'm done renting those things on Prime. Screw that.
Oh, it's a Prime rental? Oh.
Well, no, they go straight to rental first, and then after 3 months they end up on HBOMAX.
You don't set your Amazon Prime account to ship a day later and get your credits? That's what you got to do.
Oh, I do those.
Just, save your credits.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right.
I found that once you get into the cycle of waiting for things to be free, you're always watching new stuff.
Sure.
But if you pay for stuff, then you're going to run out of new stuff to watch later.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
Sure.
Anyways, patience. It's a virtue.
I ran out of patience with wanting to talk about Peacemaker.
Angry.
Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7, titled
Like a Keith in the Night.
Like a Keith in the Night.
Mm-hmm.
This
the penultimate episode.
Your favorite episode historically of anything that we ever watch?
No, I just put a lot of pressure on the penultimate episode. I think the penultimate episode should wrap up a lot of things. There should be a nice conclusion to a lot of the story arcs that we've been following. And then usually have the most action, so that the final episode can do a resolution and maybe a denouement and maybe plan for a tease at what's to come later. Do you know what I mean? Because I think when you put all the action and all the story resolution and the teasing in the last episode, it ends up always falling apart because it's too much. It's jammed with too much stuff. So I actually really like this episode because I think it gave me exactly what I wanted. I didn't expect as much resolution to happen in this episode as they did, but it was pretty conclusive, right? The only thing that we didn't get was a bullet in Keith's brain at the end of the episode, which was very intentional, right? They tried.
Yeah.
They tried. They tried.
Yeah. Nice. Now we know what's going to happen next week.
But yeah, this episode This episode picked off right where the cliffhanger last week ended, which was that Adebayo is running for her dear life from a world full of Nazis who think that she got out, and she gets saved by a judo master who he does murder a few of them, just a few, but that's because he doesn't have any morals, I guess. I don't know. Like,
I think he has morals.
I mean, he has morals, but we were talking about, like, I don't think the solution to this problem is kill all of them, right? Like, and so, but I was like, yeah, but they're gonna kill a few of them. So
I took no issue with the deaths that occurred in that instance because they were
gonna do bad things to her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So they killed a few of the bad guys, the random neighbors that were chasing them in the pool. And then they went and hid out in a house where Judo Master did the exposition of explaining that he read a bunch of history books today or in the last few days, and he learned that the Germans and the Nazis won World War II in this universe. Meanwhile, it's switching back and forth between them and the two vigilantes who are also getting each other up to speed on what's going on. So they really, really want to make sure you understand what this universe is. So they hammer it home several times. So, like, they're not subtle with they want you to clearly understand the history, the skeleton of what this dimension's about, right? Mm-hmm. And they even show Chris, how did you miss that this world is run by Nazis? There's a swastika on the flags. Every desk has a copy of Mein Kampf on it, and he makes a joke about, like, you think I'd have a body like this from reading books, And then she's like, Chris, how did you miss the mural of Adolf Hitler? And he's like, he's baffled by that one. It's funny, it's a funny joke and stuff, but then he immediately realizes, all right, cool, I chose the wrong universe, let's get the hell out of here. And it's fun for a while. Like the hijinks are funny, like but Augie and Keith realize they're in big trouble if whoever these people are tell the authorities that they are in possession of a multi-dimensional portal. That's actually Augie's only concern, is people can't find out about this portal or we're effed. And so they go out of their way to go and find Chris and Amelia, and in the process they murder a ton of cops. And then
a lot of cops,
like 15 cops. And then they make a little silly, you could argue it's a T2 joke or T1, but he's like, you guys should probably come with us if you don't want to die or whatever, And so they go back and they have their little conversations, and Emilia is definitely taking the moral high ground and saying, like, you guys are Nazis. And then Augie reminds the viewers that I think the point of this dimension is that everybody's like the dark reflection of what they are in the other universe. So Augie takes a huge offense to the statement, I'm not a Nazi. I can't be responsible for the world I was born into. Like, is your world so perfect that you're going around and righting every injustice that happens? Because if so, that's amazing, And he really puts her and Economos in a weird place, right? Where they start thinking about, like, well, crap, like, you can't be responsible for everything that happens. And just because the world was, their world history is different, doesn't make Augie the worst thing ever. I would argue still that that is a fun thing for him to say, and it is sad to like they get a glimmer of hope that maybe this Augie is a good person, but before you can find out for sure with confirmation, Vigilante jumps through the window and shanks him to death.
Both vigilantes?
One of them for sure shanked him in the back of the neck multiple times, and then the other one comes through the window too. But yeah, it was awkward. at the first time I watched it, it made me feel really terrible, right? Because like I was thinking with my emotions in the moment, and I was seeing how Chris was getting a restored sense of hope, right? Because his whole dream dimension fell apart like an hour
Yeah.
ago, right? Like everything that he thought it was fell apart, and then here it is. Like, not only is Augie like talking sense, but when he's giving Chris a fair chance to explain what happened to their Chris, and he's actually listening, and he's telling Keith, look, I did love your brother, I truly did, but I also believe this guy when he says that what he did was an accident, and I think we got to let him go, and so Chris is very, very conflicted. And I think the emotional pain I felt in that moment was more for Chris and less for Augie. But at the time, I was just like, oh man, I think that was the good Augie. And I have, on reflection, I've come back and I walked that back, and I realized, no, he's just maybe the slightly better Augie than the one we knew before, right? Because there is the question of like, hey, if racism is passed down generationally, uh there is no denying that Keith is racist, because we saw that last week when he said one got out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then he said the next thing after that I won't repeat again. So my question is, how did Keith get to be racist?
It's a world.
Was it their mom?
It's the world they live in, right?
Fair.
I'm in agreement with you. I like Accept a lot, but I think specifically more towards the nuance that they add to it. And I had to be careful the past 2 weeks on airing like my specific or articulating my specific grievance of it just being a Nazi world. I think James Gunn did a pretty excellent job in terms of like putting that spin specifically with Augie on what that world is in relation to them and him. And it's look, it's a very complex issue, right? Like that.
Well, because they realize, like, when vigilantes are talking, right? And he's like, no, I think like America won in ours. I'm not sure who they teamed up with, but it definitely wasn't the Nazis. And then his counterpart says, then your universe must be a utopia, right? And he's like, well,
it's a complex issue that I don't think I trusted or even wanted Peacemaker season 2 to answer, right? Or to tackle.
That's awesome. I think you're impressed by how.
No, but I'm impressed by that they don't really address the macro.
They don't address
the macro of the situation you're at, or
they're not even trying to solve the macro either, right?
Yeah. It is what it is, and the goal is to get home, and they stay within that scope, but add this very compelling note of it's like, this world sucks, like, but
Chris just wanted to feel family again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like he was willing to overlook a lot of shit in order to just feel the love of a family, and that hurts. And it hurts the most not when Augie dies. That's not when it hurts the most. It hurts the most when they're finally trying to make their way out. They're trying to get to the portal because they're like, dude, we messed this place up. We got to go. And Keith comes crashing through the wall, and they're fighting. And all of Chris's friends subdue Keith, and they're like, Amelia's choking him. Like Judo Master is like, I don't remember, holding his arm back. Vigilante starts stabbing him. They're all like, everybody's dogpiling on this poor man who just lost his father and just found out he also lost his brother, right? Mm-hmm. And John Cena acted the shit out of that scene when he just finally screams, "Stop!" I'm not going to scream. I don't want to spike the audio, but it hurt, right? It hurt. Like
it falls through with the theme of at least this season where they're hitting some of these very complex emotional beats, but unlike I think typical James Gunn fashion where you pivot with the punchline, they sit on they're sitting on these moments, and I mean specifically that moment John Cena, I was like, that dude is setting himself up for whatever he wants to do next.
I mean, he's an amazing actor.
I
asked my wife, is Cena better than Batista? She said yes.
I don't know about that.
Well, she knows. She knows now. She knows now.
Go watch The Marine.
I didn't say was Cena better. I said is. A man can grow. You know
I think the roster that Batista has put together.
You mean the resume
that Batista has put together. Triumphs Cena to date, but I think Cena is definitely setting himself up to do something crazy.
Yeah,
or something, for lack of a better phrase, like something more serious down the line.
Yeah,
because they're I mean, God, that moment is so good, and they sit on it, and it's not a joke moment. It's not and like the scream he gives, I think could be perceived as like comedic, but even that like scream goes on. It goes on a little long enough to like, oh, this isn't funny. This man is hurt, really hurt.
He's hurt, and he feels like the problem is him. Is that he brings the pain and suffering to wherever he goes, and he's resigned. He's given up, and they just take him through the portal.
They drag him out,
and then when they get on the other side, Argus is showing up at Vigilante's house or mom's house, and Peacemaker, before they can even go in and find the massive amounts of drugs and money, like everybody comes outside, and Chris just hands over the portal and says, here, they all came through and to convince me to give this to you. This is what you wanted, and even
probably the most responsible thing Peacemaker could have done.
It's the most responsible thing, and Judo Master even has his back and confirms, because Judo Master's come around by hanging out with Adebayo all day. Like, he's learned that maybe he judged that book by its cover a little too quickly, so Judo Master has a cool arc too in this season that, like, I didn't realize he was going to end up being cool. You know what I mean? Because first season, he was kind of a dick, right? He was kind of a dick. So, so everybody just has some really cool moments. Like, Chris almost has his perfect moment with Amelia while they're riding on the bike, and she's hugging him. And I think she says at some point that she can only ever feel when she's in the middle of intense action, right? So like she's expressing that as they're being chased by a million cops and stuff. And so but yeah, everybody has a cool moment. I love that John Economos like just actively disappoints them repeatedly in this episode. Just like, I just want to point out I was not there when that happened, when they're talking about the other Chris dying and stuff. And Amelia's just like, John, but I also really like that, when they do a good job of showing you just that, like, there's a really good scene with Judo Master and Adebayo when he's trying to catch her up to speed, right? And he's explaining to her the Germans won, and then it's just they rounded up all the people of color, and then he's like, yeah, it's really not a good place to be if you're like gay or Buddhist or pretty much anything that I am, right? And then her response is Jesus Christ, and he says, him they like, or they love him, they love, like him they love. And I think in a lot of ways, right then and there, you get a nice picture of like, yeah, we'd like to think that history would play so differently if certain elements were altered, right? Like, what if what if
a big part of the country that was down with what was happening back then?
I know, right? And like, or conversely, like, what would happen if the Hitler paradox, right? If you travel back in time and killed Adolf Hitler. We like to believe it would be something better, but like I think a lot of the things that happen in our society, we like to blame them on things that aren't necessarily the real causes. And so it was nice to see, like to your point, what you were saying is this world that they live in, it's not just like overtly, racist. It's pretty normal most of the time until Adebayo, runs down the street and stuff like that. And I think that's why Chris didn't notice things, right? Because it's actually a world that looks a lot like ours. And so it's hard to just say this entire world is terrible. They're all bad people. I mean, they are for what happened in 1942 for sure. But at a certain point, these people are all just like products of their environment. So it would have been weird if they did nuke them all or something like that, or if GI Robot got unleashed into that universe, right? Like that was.
I mean, they do. Look, the way this episode ends, right? Argus has the machine, the portal.
Did you see the trailer for the next episode?
They're very clearly going through each door to find out what's on the other side. And as I think about it more, look, I really don't want it to end with like GI Robot going in there. I don't. That wouldn't be satisfying.
I'm fully on board with you now. After the episode I got a lot of resolution on that universe. You know what I mean? I don't need the next episode to even take place in that universe. Like we could be done.
Yeah, we can be done. That is not a like.
We could.
It's not a Peacemaker problem to solve, right?
We could Superman. Keith could come back and find Peacemaker in a later story, right? It doesn't have to be next week or this week, whatever, Thursday. Yeah. But yeah, I think the next episode is going to do exactly what I want it to do, which is tease at what future stories could have, right? Because there's going to be all kinds of weird stuff that we're going to see in the next week. And also important to note, Peacemaker got arrested. He got arrested for owning that portal. And so, I don't know. Maybe is he going to be in prison by the end of the episode? That would be kind of a bummer.
I mean, logic would dictate that he that Amanda Waller comes back in this whole thing.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I think the sky's the limit because they did so much resolution on the penultimate episode that like I have no idea where they're going to go now. You know what I mean? But I knew when I was watching this episode, I was saying out loud, this is not where I thought this was going. And this is really cool. It's really cool. I had so much fun rewatching that episode too. It's a blast. I fell in love with all the characters, even the ones playing the bad guys. Like God bless, Robert Patrick for playing just the worst human being 2 seasons in a row, man. Like, and with nuance, so that it's two versions of the same character. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's a national treasure. Even if he looks like my dad, he's still a national treasure.
He does look like your dad,
doesn't he? Okay.
Yeah.
He totally looks like my dad, dude.
Yeah, he does.
The older Robert Patrick gets, the more he looks like my dad.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
No, I can't unsee that.
Whatever.
Well, I think that's where we'll wrap up this week's discussion. We got one more. We got our Peacemaker season finale,
and it's the 200th episode.
And it's our 200th episode.
Ricky, I'm going to ask you just because I'm going to see if I could pull strings, but if you could have anybody come and talk with us next week, that from all the people that have ever been on our show, who would you want to talk about Peacemaker with next week?
Who did you dislike the most?
Who did I dislike the most?
Well, I name them on air.
No.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I would be happy with any guests that you pull if you were to get any guests.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
I'm happy that I feel like 200 is a milestone.
It is a milestone. That's why I feel like as much fun as I've had, like, we scaled back on the guests these last few months. And I think it was just for convenience, and it's also just for sometimes when we're watching stuff, we don't want to make people like watch stuff as fast
It's
as we
hard to
do.
get people to watch Harley Quinn season 6.
Yes, exactly. So we accept that that's our lot in life, but we don't force it on others. But the way we're doing Peacemaker, you got like 5 days, right? Like it's a pretty good span of time. So we can make it happen. We'll make it happen next week for sure. But yeah, I got nothing else to add. I love this episode. I'm super excited. I think Peacemaker has definitely become one of my favorite superhero shows ever. Just because of the amount of restraint that James Gunn has showed in this season. There is a huge growth from season 1 to season 2. And that's hard to argue, right?
100%. No, it's
I think Vigilante killed one guy.
Seeing what he's doing with Peacemaker season 2 reassure it doesn't make it as icky knowing that obviously James Gunn is the new Feige for DC, but in terms of like he's directing the next Superman movie, he's in like a very creative position, right?
Yes.
In terms of his movies, knowing that he has this ability to maybe tell what I guess we would not think of as James Gunn stories, right? That kind of makes sense. It makes me happy.
Oh, I forgot to ask. How did you feel about the guest star of, what was it, Sidney Happerson?
Oh yeah, the guy from Superman.
Yeah, the one of Lex Luthor's right hand men being the.
Sure, I mean that's cool. That's the Marvel thing, right? You get people to you get the big characters in it as well.
Yeah, and then also Lachlan Monroe got to reprise his role as Detective Fitzgibbon in this alternate universe. Remember, he was a character that got butterflied in season 1.
Oh, I don't remember.
The guy that was at Augie's door asking to come in.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he looked
familiar. Yeah, it was him. But in this universe, he doesn't have his Asian partner.
Yeah.
Probably because of reasons that we already know from that universe.
Oh, yeah, that would track.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Now I've covered everything there is to cover for this episode.
Catch us next week. And with that, true believers.